slide it down over the weekend. You get an order like that, people know, if you will, what's around the corner. And you're absolutely right. At least 164 people known dead. Most of those protesters, although some police were shot and killed as well. And of course, we have the help of the Russian troops. About 2,500 came in, and their role was said to be peacekeeping and not mixing with crowds. Again, it's hard to know without having reporting assets on the ground directly there. But things are said to be quieter today. All began on the 2nd of January, where they, in essence, doubled the price of gasoline in the country, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. People said, no, we can't do this anymore. It's just one example of rising prices there. And they said, we're putting our foot down, and they hit the streets, and then it progressed to hitting government buildings. So yes, it was spiraling for quite a few days until I say until it got Friday, and it was a pushback by the government.
So if you look at those surging fuel prices, the protesters believe, though, that this is all corruption-based, right? And this is why they're going after the government?
Well, they don't really understand how it works, but again, you know, natural gas prices here in the UK have like gone up 4 times in the past year. So it's kind of a global thing going on. They're saying, look, we can't deal with the gap here anymore. And what the government has done now is rescinded the possibility of such a huge increase. They said, look, we're going to keep the prices where they were. And review it. And I would imagine at that point, they probably might say we're going to tack on 6 more months. Flip side of the coin is it's better than having open revolution on the streets. So if you've got some money in the government coffers, you might start, subsidizing, if you will, fuel for the average citizen.
I guess it's a little bit hard for us in the U.S. to understand these increases getting this type of reaction. I just checked our gas price. We're at $4.66 a gallon in California today. What is it? I guess give me a comparison. How does this work? And why, when you say that things have doubled or that this is the 4th time this year that the prices have gone up, what are you guys facing?
Yeah, we're looking at the same kind of thing here at the pump. It's going popping up and up, but I have to convert it into dollars roughly. It's about $7 a gallon here in the UK. Yeah, exactly. And there's all kinds of different ways you can skin a cat. But one is to say reduce the fuel duty that goes into the government coffers and say no, because the price is so high. Yes, by definition, more money going to the government. Reduce the levy on gasoline here, so that you can at least try to tamp down the prices somewhat. But it's hurting. Then you got the the environmentalists saying you should use gasoline anyways, and people go join the real world. I got to get my old car going down the road tomorrow, regardless of how much it costs to fill it up. And I'm not going to solve the climate issue next week. I got to get this old beater on the road to get to work.
Is it believed that the pause, the 6-month pause put on the prices, will be enough to get the protesters to stop, or at least to, I guess, lessen what's going on there? Or do they think that this is just a sign of things to come in 6 months?
Well, I think, as I said, I alluded to, I think this will probably calm things down right here, right now. And if the government is smart, in 6 months they're going to go, you know what, we're going to tack it on for 6 more months. Just keep going like that. Better to reduce maybe some of the government coffers a little bit to subsidize fuel, as opposed to having people blowing up and dealing with government buildings. That's not the very good alternative, if you will.
All right, Tom, thank you so much for explaining all of that. I appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, see you later. This is KFI and KOST HD2 Los Angeles. Let's get a look at that Monday commute. And Jeff Ball, good morning. What's up on the 101?
Wow, good morning, Jen. Boy, I tell you what, the 101, we just flew over Capitol Records, and boy, if there isn't an iconic building in Hollywood, that's it, huh? Good morning to you as you're coming through the Cahuenga Pass and go by Capitol Records. Very good drive. Actually, I can see down at the 4 level, maybe a couple of brake lights down there. Not too bad at all. A lot of volume up this morning at this early hour, by the way. If you're leaving the East LA interchange on the North 101, looks like once you get past Rowan Echo Park, you're okay in the San Fernando Valley. South 405, the 101 to 170, just kind of busy. You stick with us, and we'll get you where you need to be. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com. Jeff KFI in the sky.
If you're thinking about refinancing your home, I would jump on it now, and I'll tell you why. Because the Feds are definitely hitting the interest rates. They're going up. They told us that. And they're going up several times this year. So it makes sense now because inflation has not hit those interest rates yet. And you've got a ton of equity in your home doing absolutely nothing. It's sitting there. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to borrow against that equity, pay ridiculously low interest rates, and then use that money for something. You can invest it. You can remodel your house. Pay, to college tuition doesn't really matter because you're paying back at such a low interest rate, it just makes sense. And HMS Capital, the only lender I know that tells you apply with multiple lenders. Apply with other lenders at the same time you do with them. That's HMS Capital. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698, 833-255, hmscapital.com, hmscapital.com.
HMS Capital funding is a DBA of government finance, criminal agreement with unfair contract. HMS Capital advises on the finance and professional language from the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, license number 0130360, equal housing lender.
If you've ever ordered food for work, you understand it's different. There's just so much more at stake. Whether it's a meeting, a client call, or lunch with the office, it has to arrive at the actual lunchtime. Food for work has to work. That's why there's Easy Cater. Food is on time and as ordered from over 82,000 restaurants. And if there's a problem, rare, you can reach someone in seconds. Thank you for calling Easy Cater. Some food just doesn't work at work, but Easy Cater just does. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Socal weather from KFI. We've got a windy and mostly cloudy day ahead. Highs in fact today will be in the upper 60s to mid 70s. That's your forecast for tomorrow as well. We also have a high surf advisory in effect that'll last until 9 tomorrow night. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. This has been your wake-up call. Handle on the news starts now.
Handle on the news. Handle on the news. And now, here's Bill Handel.
Good morning, Bill Handel here on a Monday morning, January 10th, 2022. And we're well into the new year and just holiday season is just around the corner, so we're jumping. Let's say hello, Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Hello, Handel. Good morning.
Good morning. And there is the lovely Wayne Resnick.
It's around the corner that we just turned.
No, I know. It's coming up soon. Time flies. You know what they say?
Well, but time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, yeah. Good point. It's going to be a lifetime before the holiday season is here. Good point.
I wish we had a snapshot of your picture. Oh, yeah.
Alex is back from the wars.
Yes, morning.
Good morning. So you had a happy camping vacation?
Oh, yes, I was camping in the Himalayas all week. It was beautiful.
Excellent. All right. Well, welcome back. And, you're no Morgan, but welcome back. And there's Tyler.
Wow.
What?
That's very rude.
And Tyler, good morning.
Good morning, Bill.
All right. I was talking to Tyler before we started the show. Football, a lot of football. And the secret to watching football is started about 45 minutes after the game starts. Especially if you're videoing it, you're recording it. That's the way it works.
And then you can zip through all the commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then I have people call me, knowing I do that, call me and tell me what the score is.
That's a great idea.
Isn't it? Yeah, it makes life miserable. Okay, guys, are you ready to do it? On this Monday morning, boy, do we have news that's been going on. We start with a text that I got last night from my friend Savel, who happened to know, and he does know, Bob Saget, who died at the age of 65 yesterday. And he was doing his stand-up. I don't know if you've ever seen his stand-up. It is, boy, is it raunchy.
Not Danny Tanner from Full House.
No, but hilarious.
Oh, I got to meet him. He came to the radio station I was working in San Francisco, and I was telling everybody on Wake Up Call, one of the sweetest, funniest guys. And when he would say something off color, there was something so, I don't know, it was genuine and it wasn't alarming. He was just this, I don't know, he could just get by with anything because he was so kind.
Yeah, good for him. He was raunchy. You know, I saw him early on in his career as a stand-up, and he was very funny. He was just a kid, and hilarious.
Really?
Anyway, we're going to talk to Jason Nathanson at 7 o'clock ABC News Entertainment Reporter and talk about Bob Saget. I didn't know he was that big a deal.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes I don't know, but then you have, comes to three, Sidney Poitier, Betty White, now Bob Saget, and it always comes in three. You know why it always comes in three? Because people stop counting at three. It could come in 4 and 5 and 8. But, okay, we stop at 3. Doesn't matter who dies after that. Anyway, a true character. And a guy who was, and Savile knows him through the Scleroderma Foundation, Research Foundation. So Savile has scleroderma, and he was on the same board. Bob Saget's sister died.
Yeah.
And you know who else is on the board is Susan Senegal.
Really?
Yeah. Because her college roommate died of scleroderma. And as you know, Savile does have scleroderma. So much for that. Anyway, Bob Saget dead at the age of 65, and quite a guy. And he died in a hotel room between gigs in Florida. And the cops have already said no foul play, and it doesn't look like drugs. And they just literally just had a heart attack. Like John Ritter out of the blue with his aneurysm. That just exploded. And Ritter was in the, late 40s, I think?
I think he might have been a little bit older than that, but not much.
Yeah, I mean, just... all right, let's just move on. And we'll talk to Jason Nathanson all about Bob Saget's career. Actually did a couple of things that were completely unique.
All right, another really tough story. This one, 19 people dead, including 9 kids in this apartment fire in the Bronx. And what happened was it looks like there was a malfunctioning space heater in one family's apartment. The fire, the smoke detectors go off. The family rushes out of their apartment that's on fire, and they leave the door open, and what it sounds like is the smoke billowing from their apartment where the fire was got into the hallways. Did it somehow get into the ventilation system? They don't know, but everybody who was trying to escape this thing, a lot of them were overcome with smoke inhalation. And they said that they were finding, I guess firefighters were finding, unconscious people in the stairwells who had been trying to run and whatever, and just a horrible situation.
Yeah, totally overwhelmed. Also, I heard reports that the front door was open.
Yeah, and
that means the smoke could just fly out the front door.
Like a wind tunnel effect. They said that because so many windows were open and it was a windy day and windows were exploding, and so that could have all contributed to it.
Yeah. I think it was, I'm reading that it was mainly immigrants from the Dominican Republic.
That's bad.
It was a poor neighborhood. And that's heart-wrenching. 9 kids. 10 adults.
Well, another sad story. 10 have died when a cliff rock detached and fell on a bunch of pleasure boaters on a lake in Brazil. I don't know if you know this lake or not. Furnas Lake?
No, I don't.
Well, it's not in the big city.
No, it's in Minas Gerais, and it's a small city and is known as a resort area. Did you see the video?
Yeah.
Of this thing?
Oh my
You actually see the cliff separating and coming down right on top of a bunch of boats.
It's like if you could imagine Like, it reminded me of like an old Roadrunner video, Coyote video, when he's standing on the edge of a cliff and the cliff separates
Yes.
and then falls. That's what it reminds me
Yeah,
of.
crazy. And there were both right next to it.
Oh, right under it.
Well, the ones that are under it, everybody died. And then there were some that are feet away from it and videoing it. I mean, it's just, you can't even imagine. There's a lot of horrific stories.
I honestly, when I saw the video the first time, I thought it was fake. I thought that it had been photoshopped or something.
Yeah, or something. I'm trying to think. We go into, okay, story 4 is another horrific one, and then finally we get a good news story on story 5. But we'll be right back and do plenty more handle the news. There's Jennifer Jones.
LA County Health officials say 13 people died from COVID-19 yesterday, and more than 3,300 are being treated for it in hospitals. Actor Dwayne Hickman has died. A generation of baby boomers remember him for his role as Joby Gillis some 60 years ago. In a written statement, a family rep says Hickman died from complications of Parkinson's at his home in Los Angeles. He was 87, and Virgin Orbit is launching a company that's a sibling of Virgin Airlines, and as of Friday, it's being publicly traded on the NASDAQ. We got your drive with the KFI in the Sky in the 10 next.
If you happen to own a business during the pandemic, managed to keep 5 or more people on the payroll, there is a new government program that'll pay you tens of thousands of dollars per employee. I mean, this is money. It's not a loan either. It's a grant. Now, the challenge is getting your hands on this money because it's a complicated federal bureaucracy. But innovationrefunds.com does exactly that. They cut through the red tape and they get you the money. I mean, they're simply experts at getting the money with programs like this. And they do all the legwork and do not charge dime one until you actually receive the money, and then they take a percentage. It's a contingency arrangement. And in another program, they got my business, a 6-figure refund. In this program, the average client gets $250,000. Tell me that's not serious money. Go to innovationrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions, they do the rest. Innovationrefunds.com.
At In-N-Out, our hamburgers are made with the highest quality ingredients, made fresh and by hand, made with a smile, and made to order just for you.
Socal weather from KFI, mostly cloudy and windy with highs in the upper 60s to mid-70s. This report is brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. We're watching your commute on the 10.
Yeah, windy and clear, that's for sure. I can see Brooklyn from downtown Los Angeles. A little bit of a problem now downtown Los Angeles. Speaking of westbound Santa Monica Freeway, the Santa Fe off, a very popular off-ramp for trucks and commercial traffic and cars too, but there's a problem on Santa Fe. So if you're coming out of East LA Interchange, going to the Santa Fe off-ramp, it's backing up the 2 right lanes. Now, you can get off. They're trying to move tow trucks right now as I speak to you. So just be careful going through. Now, going towards Rancho Cucamonga, this is the eastbound drive now. Eastbound 210 at Baseline. Boy, something terrible going on there. We've got a bunch of lanes blocked. The eastbound 210 is backing up very quickly. Until I get eyes on it, I know you can use, get on the East 210 Mountains. That'll work for you. Any street you want to use to do that. But that puts you past the problem and on your way. Westbound drive still in pretty good shape now, heading towards the 57. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Ross, KFI in the Sky.
This report is sponsored by Walgreens. With low-cost Medicare prescription copays at Walgreens, you won't have a Medicare in the world. Plus, easy prescription delivery options for even less to Medicare about. Start filling your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and see how much you could save today.
Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. Are you looking to sell your home in 2022? Well, congratulations. That is a big deal. For most of us, it's the biggest deal of all. So let's make sure you get everything out of it that you can, yeah? Before you get ready to list, make sure you call the good folks at Revive. Revive's business is to maximize your home's sale value. How? By guiding you through market-critical upgrades before you sell. It's like flipping your own home, except Revive fronts the cost and guarantees results. Yeah, you heard that right. No money out of pocket and a higher selling price guaranteed. You can list higher and sell faster in just a few short weeks. In fact, the average homeowner sees $160K in additional profit. This is a no-brainer. Revive has created an easy, stress-free way to maximize your greatest asset, your home. So, are you thinking about selling? Then before you do anything, chat with an advisor at Revive. To get started, go to iloverevive.com. That's iloverevive.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Limited time offer. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See participating centers for full details. AA, MCO.
We've weathered this pandemic by doing our part to protect each other. So let's stick to what's proven to keep us safer from COVID-19 and its variants. Like masking up in public indoor settings, getting tested before and after traveling and gathering, and staying home if you feel sick. Let's keep our immunity strong. Visit myturn.ca.gov or call 833-422-4255 to find a vaccine or booster near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
The new year means resolutions like diets and exercising. But what about exercising your legal rights? I'm attorney Darren Kapinoki from 1-800-NO-CUFFS. And this is why I'm always telling you to just shut up. 1-800-NO-CUFFS, because no one looks good in handcuffs. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Feeling like everything costs $1 bajillion lately? Del Taco gets it. And they got you. Del Taco's new 20 under 2 menu includes 20 fresh-made guaci, cheesy, spicy, and crunchy items for under $2 each. Can I get a Del Yeah? Price of participation may vary.
If you've ever ordered food for work, you understand. It's different. There's just so much more at stake. Whether it's a meeting, a client call, or lunch to the office, it has to arrive at the actual lunchtime. Food for work has to work. That's why there's Easy Cater. Food that's on time and as ordered from over 82,000 restaurants. And if there's a problem, rare, you can reach someone in seconds.
Thank you for calling Easy Cater.
Some food just doesn't work at work, but Easy Cater just does. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Cash call mortgage is a DBA of Impact Mortgage Corp. NMLS ID 128231. Not all applicants will qualify. Equal housing lender. Licensed by California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Residential Mortgage Lending Act license number 4131083. Not licensed in all states including New York. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. Or visit cashcallmortgage.com.
This new year, what are your financial goals? Home improvements? Paying off bills? That dream vacation? Put Cash Call Mortgage on top of your New Year's to-do list while mortgage interest rates are low. Because along with the new year is the talk of rising interest rates. A cash call mortgage refi could help make 2022 a whole lot happier. You could reduce your current interest rate and start saving money with a lower monthly payment. And with a cash out refi, you may even make it a win-win with the cash you need now and a lower rate and monthly payment. Make sure your New Year financial dreams come true with Cash Call Mortgage. For a free quote to see if you qualify, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call now. Call 800-633-0861. That's 800-633-0861. 800-633-0861.
KFI AM 640. Local. And our radio station.
If you want to call my baby, just go ahead now. And if you like to tell me. And here we go. Bill Handel Morning Crew on Monday, January 10th. Still cold. But at least it was in 50s this morning. When are we going to get warm weather again? Do you have a weather report there, Jan?
It's not coming for a while. So we've got... Basically, the warmest you're going to see this week will be in the low to maybe mid-70s today and tomorrow.
It's not bad.
And then, but we'll drop back into the 40s overnight.
That's not good. Back we go. More Handel on the news. Jennifer, Wayne, and me.
Oh, it's just such a sad story. Saturday night at this Taco Bell in South LA. So apparently somebody tried to pay with counterfeit money, and the employee basically said no. And the person who tried to pay with the counterfeit money then shot the person. And apparently the person who was killed died in his father's arms, who also worked at the Taco Bell.
But if the Taco Bell employee had a gun, this never would have happened.
Not necessarily, because is the Taco Bell employee pointing the gun at every person who rolls up to the drive-thru as a deterrent in case that person has a gun?
Yes.
I think if he has been
Precisely.
armed and you are shot by surprise, then you're still shot and dead.
But that's what good training does. If you're well trained and
You
learn,
anticipate it?
that's right, and you learn to do a quick draw McGraw, and hey, okay, never mind. It's you notice where my soapbox is constantly that I make a point of this, that I'm so thrilled with an armed society. All right, a good story. Finally, let's do it.
Well, it starts with a plane crash, so it's not the best story. However, a small plane crashed onto Metrolink tracks, and LAPD was able to pull the pilot, who was the only person on the plane, pulled him out before a train smashed into the airplane. So they saved his life.
Pretty impressive. I mean, seconds. So that isn't the plane lost power and crashed onto tracks. I mean, you would think that you'd at least pull off and fly the plane away from tracks. But it's good news for everybody except the insurance companies.
And when you were talking about seconds, I heard some of the audio from that day. And the plane goes, you hear them like rescuing the guy, and there's wrestling and whatever. And then you hear somebody else say something to the effect of, move, move, move. And then you hear, wah, wah, from the train, and then, it's it is all just within seconds of each other.
But it all ends up with a good news story.
Yeah.
It truly does.
Yeah. LAUSD is doing its COVID testing at campuses, and it's trying to distribute at-home tests. I know I told you last week, Friday and Saturday, they were giving 2 tests per kid to take home, and the district is requiring all students and staff be tested ahead of the restart of classes. So that's what they're trying to do, whether you get tested on campus or you do one of these take-home tests. They're trying to get everybody tested before they go back to school.
But there isn't a mandate that they have to test negative, and how many days before. That's a big controversy. Not a big controversy, it's a controversy. Some venues want 72 hours before, some want 2 days before. And if not, you have a bunch of students that haven't tested because they can't get tests. I mean, people who want to get tests can't get tests. And so what do? They come in, they take a test, they wait 20 minutes, I guess, for the at-home test. And this is not the PCR test. This is a test because the PCR test takes days to come back.
Speaking of those at-home tests, Governor Newsom signed an executive order making it illegal to price gouge when you're selling those tests. If you were already selling those tests when he signed the order, you cannot increase the price more than 10%. If you weren't, and you decide, hey, I want to get in on the selling at-home test racket, you will not be able to sell it for more than 50% of what you paid to get it. Because there's been crazy price gouging on these
And
things.
how much are they? I mean, I've gotten a test at home. I did get a test at Kaiser, and it was a PCR test. But it was a few days before I was doing a follow-up for my operation.
I want to say that I read in a story maybe they were $30-ish.
Yeah, and I don't.
You can get them for less per unit if you can find them. Sometimes you can get a 6-pack or an 8-pack, and the unit price will drop. But they're somewhere 20 to 30, depending on where you're getting them. But you'll see them for sale for $100 for one test.
It's kind of crazy. And people are taking
high demand, low supply. That's what happens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this mom in Texas is facing criminal charges because she stuffed her 13-year-old son in the trunk of a car because he tested positive for COVID, and she didn't want to get exposed.
Yeah, makes sense to me. What's wrong with this?
He had to quarantine.
So why not stuff him in the trunk?
Exactly.
And I guess that the health services director at the site of this testing center asked the woman, could you open your trunk And there was the teenager lying inside because she said, I didn't want to get exposed, so he rode in the trunk.
Yep. Did she give him a flashlight at least? So he could read a book? No, I guess not.
And I do like that the person at the testing site was like, we won't test your son until he's actually sitting in the car. And then the kid gets out of the trunk, goes and sits in the back of the car, and Mr. Test Man calls the cops.
She's a teacher.
Yeah. Well, she's on administrative leave now.
I know. So go figure.
Trust your kid with this woman.
Yeah. Crazy people.
Tennis star Novak Djokovic has won the first round in his fight to play in the Australian Open. You may recall the state government of Victoria gave him an exemption to come play. When he got there, the federal people said, you're not coming in. We cancel your visa. You can go to an immigration detention hotel till we sort out kicking you out. Well, he got a judge to undo that. And he was immediately released from the immigration detention hotel. However, the federal officials said, we're not done here. The head of their immigration system apparently has the power of personal cancellation. In other words, just he on his own accord could say, I cancel your visa. So we're waiting to see if that's what's going to happen.
You would guess. I'm assuming they have something on the order of a supremacy clause that we have, where the federal government overrides any state, and they're the provinces actually. I think are they states? I think states.
They're states.
You got Victoria. You've got a few other ones. I believe this was
New South Wales. But they also have what we have, which is a third branch, judicial branch, that can say those executive actions that you took were no good. In this case, they said you didn't give him enough time to talk to his attorney. There were some other procedural errors in canceling his visa.
All right, let's take a break.
So we'll see how strongly the Australian government feels about letting him in or not.
This will be really interesting. And, of course, it's the Australian Open, and he is such a draw. Brings him so much money. We'll be back. This is KFI AM 640, checking in with Jennifer.
A new report says California's public school students struggled with online learning last year. New data released by the state also found students who were already behind fell further behind. It's the first such look at how students did during a school year disrupted by the pandemic. News is brought to you by the Cunning Dental Group. 2 teenage boys have been shot in a drive-by attack in Long Beach. They were standing on East 14th Street about 6:30 yesterday morning when a car pulled up and some people shot at them before driving off. The boys were taken to a hospital and are expected to survive. A dog that disappeared during a wildfire last summer near Lake Tahoe has miraculously been found.
The dog ran out from its owner's car in August as the Cowdoor fire was heading towards South Lake Tahoe. The owner looked for the dog, but ultimately had to evacuate. A man out skiing west of Tahoe recently spotted the dog. He posted photos of it online, and shortly after, an animal tracker and a volunteer put their snowshoes on and went out looking for dog tracks. The two ended up finding the dog in the snow. It was in good health and has been reunited with its family in Riverside County. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
Ohio Republican Congressman Jim Jordan has rejected a request for an interview by the House panel investigating the January 6th Capitol riot. He wrote a letter to the committee yesterday saying the American people are tired of Democrats' nonstop investigations and partisan witch hunts. Jordan is one of former President Trump's closest allies in Congress. U.S. and Russian negotiators are meeting in Geneva to discuss the tense situation along the Ukraine border. Biden administration officials say they hope Russia and Ukraine will agree to scale back their military exercises and missile deployments. Russia wants to curb NATO's expansion into Eastern Europe. And the death toll from the rock fall that killed boaters on a Brazilian lake has risen to 10. Police say there was a possibility that some people were missing following the accident Saturday. Officials say heavy recent rains may have contributed to the wall's collapse. You got your drive on the 605.
We sure do. That's a pretty good drive. So be aware, be vigilant. A good drive is good now. Coming off the 210, 10 to 60 all over down the I-5. Getting busy, that's for sure. The corporate one has just moved right along. So is the northbound side. Now, when you come out to 60, they get hit with it. The skies are so dramatic here this morning. Takes your breath away. The 60 freeway in between the 605 and East Ohio, that's good. We're looking at the 10 right now from the 6057, and that's good. We're going to try and get out here if the wind will let us do it, but the eastbound 210 to baseline got most of the freeway shut down. If you can get on a mountain, that'll save you more and keep on going. Into the next, this is Superwoman. Superwater, .com. Jeff Fogg, KFI in the sky.
LeBron James scored 35 points against the Memphis Grizzlies, but the next high scorers for L.A. were Austin Reeves and Wayne Ellington with 16 each, and that was not enough. The Lakers lost by a score of 127-119. The Clippers snapped a 3-game skid by beating the Atlanta Hawks 106-93. Here's forward Nicholas Batum responding to a question about Coach Ty Lue's recent tough love feedback.
No, I agree. I agree with him. And we just started to play together first and fight. We usually lose the same way every time. We just gotta stick together.
I'm Wayne Resnick, KFI Sports.
Did you know your ugly, cracked, stained, embarrassing driveway, patio, or walkway can actually earn you money? I'm Larry Green, CEO of System Pavers, America's #1 designer and installer of elegant outdoor living systems. This season, love your home again and turn your old hardscapes into big savings with our free demolition and instant recycling cash credit. Call System Pavers today at 888-PAVE-002 and you'll save like never before because we'll demolish and remove your old ugly concrete or asphalt for free and give you an instant recycling cash credit toward our beautiful interlocking pavers, SP turf, custom built-in barbecues, fire pits, and wonderful outdoor lighting. This could add up to hundreds, even thousands in savings, but you must call now at 888-PAVE-002. 888-PAVE-002, 888-PAVE-002, or SystemPavers.com.
All orders must be placed by January 31st and must commence within 60 days of purchase. See website for full details. Contractor's license 661575.
Socal Weather from KFI. Windy today with a high surf advisory in effect through tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy for the next couple of days with highs in the upper 60s to mid-70s. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Sure, dude. You can come over to my place to watch the playoffs. My place being Morongo, that is. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Hundreds of TVs and a 30-foot video wall at sidelines with the Wahlburgers. You're not dreaming. It's Morongo.
Number 2.
Get a 6-piece Martex towel set when you earn 500 points on your rewards card, the 17th or 18th.
And the number 1 reason.
98 Degrees, live January 28th. Get your tickets now.
Morongo. Good times.
At Ralph's, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Ralph's, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Save more on natural and organic items. Just clip your digital coupons on our app and use them up to 5 times in one transaction with your card. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
By now, you've heard the news. Boosters for Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines are available. They help keep your immunity strong and help keep you and others protected against COVID-19 and its variants. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find out if you're eligible and to find a booster near you. Let's keep each other safer and healthier this winter. Get your booster, and don't forget to get your flu shot, too. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Feeling like everything costs $1 bajillion lately? Del Taco gets it. And they got you. Del Taco's new 20 under 2 menu includes 20 fresh-made guaci, cheesy, spicy, and crunchy items for under $2 each. Can I get a Del Yeah? Price of participation may vary. For official rules and more information about contests of this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules.
Live and local.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
On a Monday, January 10th, Bill Handel here as we continue with a handle on the news. Jennifer Jones-Lee, Wayne, and me.
Well, the Rams blew a 17-point lead, and I knew something was going on in the game because I was working outside in the yard yesterday, and I would hear my neighbors erupt all at the same time. And it was a lot of, oh, this, that, what? I thought, oh, something's not going on in that game. Still, they won the NFC West in a 27-24 loss to the Niners in OT.
I mean, that blowing that lead, it looked like it was going to be a blowout.
Yes.
And boom.
Which is why I went outside. I thought, oh, well, this isn't much of a game.
Yeah, but they're still there.
We're going to work outside.
Yeah, but they're still there. They win the NFC West, like the Packers yesterday. It was a pretty good game, actually. Very good game. But, still, it didn't matter. The Packers have their division.
And another OT game, Chargers took the Raiders into overtime, but then, boom, Raiders came away with the win.
Yeah, yesterday's football game.
But they're both in the playoffs. Everybody's in the playoffs, so it's kind of like a reset.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, it's a good bunch of games that happened. Very exciting. So yesterday was football time.
It's still so weird to hear you be a football fan.
I know. I'm moving in that direction.
All right, U.S. Labor Board prosecutors are trying to violate Whole Food Market's copyright and constitutional rights, according to Amazon, which is Whole Foods now, by forcing it to let employees wear Black Lives Matter masks at work. So Whole Foods says that it's the one whose rights are being violated, not the people who were trying to wear the Black Lives Matter masks. And so Amazon, Whole Foods, is accusing the Labor Board of trying to unconstitutionally compel speech by Whole Foods in violation of its First Amendment rights.
So if you wanted to wear a swastika on your mask and completely racist, death to, instead of Black Lives Matter, death to all blacks, death to all Hispanics, and then an asterisk, particularly death to Jews. Because that's what they would do. Just pushing your leg on that one. Just kidding. But would that be okay? Is that a First Amendment argument? Well, of course, you'd be fired for that. You may not necessarily be fired for Black Lives Matter masks, although I would do that in a heartbeat. You can't bring politics at all into a store. And
the employees are saying this is not a political issue. They're in the labor code. You can't ban employees from anything, including speech, that has to do with their welfare on the job. So what they're trying to do is take Black Lives Matter out of the political or social justice realm and say, this is about our being safe at work.
Which I think is...
Whole Foods is saying it has nothing to do, but Black Lives Matter, that message has nothing to do with working conditions.
I'll buy that. I think that's the case. Once you bring it into public health, that is an entirely different issue. Now you've crossed the line into actually forcing mandates, for example. As I've said over and over again, the first mandate, that was the first vaccine mandate. And I think there's two in that where the third was the smallpox vaccination, and the public health authority said, you're getting vaccinated, and the Supreme Court said that. Because it's a public health issue. You don't have the right. You don't have the right to infect yourself all day long.
Wow. There have been people who have made false bomb threats for all kinds of things. Having to take a test, for example. But this guy's reason, a man said he had a bomb in his backpack. Why? Why? Well, there's a big line to get in to see Doja Cat in concert, and he wanted to jump the line. So I guess he figured if I say I have a bomb, everybody will leave. And then I'll get to stroll right in. But that is not what happens when you tell people you have a bomb. Is Doja Cat that good? Doja Cat, Doja Cat is good enough to warrant going to prison.
I've never actually heard of Doja Cat. I'm assuming he's a rapper, right? She. Oh, it's a she? There are really few women rappers.
Oh, now.
It's true. When you think about it, statistically, among the big name rappers, how many are women?
Well, there's Carly G and Megan Thee Stallion and Doja Cat and Flo Millie and Lil Kim.
So is it less than a dozen?
And Missy Elliott would count. I'm not going to going. Also, I'll just throw in a mention of my hopefully future wife, Tierra Wax. On that list.
I'm just pointing out, I was talking to my daughter last night about women chefs, and we're watching all of the cooking shows. We're really into that because Tamara likes it. I enjoy sitting there with them. And you have the great chefs of the world, primarily male. And cooking has been a female-oriented, both, not so much job, but hobbies and stay home.